my name's Julie from Sewunique, and I'll pop all the links down below where you can find me on social media. Well, a big welcome to everyone to episode 188. Well, this week is slightly different to my normal vlog because I only had a couple of days crafting and I've been away for the weekend with Adele and Kevin to Skegness. So there'll be more on Skegness at the end of the vlog. To start with, I'm going to show you what I've been making, and then we'll go on to my weekend away and what I've bought. So get yourself a cup of tea and let's get going. Well, this week, as I said, I didn't have a lot of time to do some crafting, but I've managed to get a bit done, and I obviously did a little bit of crafting while I was away on the Saturday because I had the day to myself while Kevin and Adele were trading at a show in Skegness. So yes, I have got something to share with you. So while I was at home, I managed to get 4 book sleeves made. Now the first one is the Christmas tomties or gnomes or whatever you want to call them, and I've used the same fabric on the inside, and this is some fabric I bought a while ago when I think we'd been away, and it was a shop we found on the way home. So this will fit standard 450 page novel quite easily. So it's one of my sort of basic sizes. I've got my tag on the back, so that's the first one I made. Then I'd got some new fabric in the shop, some fat quarter bundles. I think this one, well, I'm not sure if this is all from the same collection. I think it is. This is Austin's Library. So I've got 3 there, and I've got plenty left over for something else. So I'll put a nice lilac in the centre, and we've got some very pretty swans and peacocks on a sort of a mid-blue background. So that's really, really nice. And these are perfect for Christmas presents because Christmas is coming, isn't it? And then the next one is all the books, which I think this one's my favourite. So you've got your sort of Tiffany light shade type of thing, books and flowers, butterflies and dragonflies on there. And on the inside I've used one of the other fat quarters in the bundle, and it's all sort of chairs, if you can see that. Let me turn it inside out so you can actually get a better look of the chair fabric because it's very nice. But I just thought it was perfect for sort of inside the bag. So that is your inside. So that looks very nice. But I think the swans and the peacocks are very, very pretty. Now I do have some of the fat quarter bundles on the website, and by the time this vlog goes live they will be listed on there. So this is from another fat quarter. So you've got your books and your chairs and just everything like that. And then on the inside I've used one of the other fat quarters, and I'll turn it around so you can see. So this is like a garden with horses and nice big house. I don't know whether you'd say that was Edwardian or Victorian, but it looks very nice. But I thought this would be ideal for the inside of the book sleeve. Not a book, the book sleeve. So that's that fat quarter bundle. Now for the next fat quarter bundle I didn't actually get time to finish anything really, but I got some baskets cut out, and they're all half done really. So this collection is called Nightfall Forest. I think that's the right one. So, and it's all sort of, well, toadstools. This is all the toadstool ones. That's the first one. So this is as far as I've got with this basket. And then the next one is the lilac with like all the leaves on, and there's some berries on there, which is very, very nice. That's the next one. And then we've got, oh, I think I've shared the wrong one. I have. That's the one I should have showed you in the first place. That's the first one. And then I have this one. I've got my handles a bit mixed up. So that's that one. Then the next one is a lovely sort of bluey purple with berries on. So you've got your purple berries and your red berries and some green foliage, which that looks really nice. So the lilac that I'm showing you, that is the lining of the bags. Then the last bag is toadstools, and it's on blue with sort of lilac, purple, red toadstools, which that's nice. So these will all be done for me to share with you next week. So that's all I managed to get done sort of while I was at home, sort of Thursday, Friday, no, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, because Friday I was packing. Let's have a look. What else have I got done? Right, well, on the way, I managed to crochet a few tendrils. I know this is a bit of a knotty mess, but I was doing these in the car on the way, so I've got quite a few of these done. And I've just put this pumpkin together. I managed to get a stem done, a brown stem, because I've decided instead of putting the green stem in, I want a brown stem because I think that looks a bit more realistic for the pumpkin. So I took my bag of felt stems and leaves, and I'd forgotten to take my heat erasable pen so I can draw the veins in so I can keep sort of straight lines. So I didn't get any of them stitched. So when I got back yesterday, I had a little bit of time, so I finished one of my other leaves off, and I've just put this one together here. So I've put one tendril on and one of the embroidered leaves. Now they're not attached, I've just placed them on. So what do you think to that? Now, do you think I need to have another tendril down this side, or do you think one is enough? Let me know in the comments down below, because I haven't actually decided what I want to do. But I do like this stem. Now this stem is from some of the fabric that I have in the shop. It is on the website and it's marled gold, and I think it works perfectly for like a dried stem. So that's what I'm doing now. So this is one of the pumpkins I crocheted last year. I've got one or two of them that don't have any stems and no leaves. So this week, that's what I'm going to concentrate on, is trying to get all the pumpkins ready to go so I can actually start and decorate in the house and in the shop, because I think I've got room in the shop to sit one or two pumpkins around on the shelf. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So it's going to keep me busy for a while. So while I was travelling on the way to Skegness, now I haven't stitched these together or anything because I didn't have a big wool needle, but this is one of the, this was oh, super chunky, I think this one was. Now I don't know where I got this one from, but this will have been when I was out and about, so that is very autumnal, that one. So it's going to be a nice size. So all being well, I will have this one finished for next week. I have been looking for some chunky yarn in green, and I'm looking for, I think it's bottle. Now I found a shop while I were away, and they'd got bottle green which matches perfectly well with this green felt, but they'd only got double knit. Now I want a chunky, so if anybody knows where I can buy bottle green in chunky, please let me know in the comments down below, because that's what I'm looking for, that's what I'm desperate for. So it'll match the leaf, and obviously the tendril and the leaf and the stem will sort of go together then. Yeah, so please, if you know of anywhere I can buy some online, that would be a big help. And then on the way home, I've made another pumpkin. Don't know which way is the right side. I think it's that one. So yeah, I've just got to finish that one off. So that's another job for this week. So this is going to keep me pretty busy. I'm not going to have much time for anything else, I don't think. Right. Then excuse me, I have been working on my felt kit this week the best I can, anyhow, with the amount of time I've had. I don't think I've done too much difference to what I did last week. I just wanted to finish stitching all the bits and bobs down. So I've got the penguin stitched on, the hat stitched on, his little ball stitched on and decorated, the fish are stitched on, the water and the ice is stitched on, and the fox is stitched on. Now I've had to unpick the leg part of the bear because it's a little bit too wide to get when I put my boot on, and I think I've stitched it, well, I've put him down a little, probably a little bit too low. I could have done with him a little bit higher up. So I'm not sure whether to sort of unpick him and redo him just slightly higher up or not. I'll have to see if I can do it, because I've stitched his jumper on as well. But no, I think really he needs to go up a little bit. When I'd marked around the pattern, it's come out a little bit wider than it should have done, but the boot is actually too close to the wood, so I think I might move it when I've got a bit of time to unpick him, and he can go up a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So yeah, so it's coming along really well. All I need really is I need some white to go on the penguin, and they don't actually give you any white. They tell you to cut your corner off here, which I don't want to do that because mine it won't be stopping in the frame. Excuse me, it'll be going in the box frame. Oh, I'm gonna have a drink of my coffee. I've got a nice coffee here. So yes, so hopefully there'll be more progress on that next week. And then last minute, I decided to dye some Ada before I went away. I thought, no, I'm going to take this with me, and I'm going to work on this on the Saturday, which I did work on it on the Saturday. Well, I didn't go very far. Anybody who cross stitches knows you never get that much done in a few hours. It's a slow job. Now I don't know how well this is going to show up, but that is what I made. Now you can see the mottled effect there. It is showing up because this was the first colour, the sort of purpley colour there, but then once I dried it, the colours of the threads, they blended in too much. So on the Friday morning before we went, I got the dye back out and I used the black and I over dyed it, and this works a lot better. The threads do stand out a little bit more, which I'm really pleased with. I must admit I enjoyed the dye. I ended up going away with black fingers, but luckily within a day it had gone off my fingers, I'm pleased to say. So yeah, and the sparkle is really popped on this. Yeah, I've sort of picked the best part for me to stitch on. So I will show you how it's looking. Now I think the only thing I might need to change on this is maybe the cheek colour. So I've got a bit of the face in, and I've got the eyes in. I'm starting on the hat, and I think it looks fine. But like I said, I think I need to redo the cheeks in probably a slightly darker pink so they stand out a little bit more. But I'm going to leave that till the last, till it's all stitched out, so I can actually see how I like it. But yeah, it's coming on. But I have to say, I'm glad I took my magnifying lamp, my little magnifying lamp with me, because when I got it out to stitch, I couldn't see the holes at all. Because with the glitter on, I mean, the glitter pops out lovely. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I think it's going to look quite nice when it's done. We'll have to see what progress I make next week. But I am enjoying it, and like I say, using my magnifying lamp was a lot better because I couldn't actually find the holes to start with, and I'm thinking, oh, blimey, what have I set myself on with here? But no, but I must admit, it's given me the bug to actually dye more Ada for projects in the future instead of just using white or cream, even like when it comes in the kit. So I'm enjoying that. Really enjoying that. Right, well that's actually all I've made this week. Considering I only had a short amount of time, I don't think I've done too bad. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go on to my weekend away and what happened. So we'll be back in a minute.
How many balls of wool did you go in for?
One.
How many did you buy?
7. And a hook. Right, well, welcome to this part of going to Skegness for a few days. We actually set off on the Friday to go to Skegness, and we came back on the Monday. The Saturday, as I've mentioned before, Kevin was with Adele trading at a show in Skegness, which was basically 5-6 minutes away from where we were staying. So she had a good day. They went off, I don't know, maybe just before 8 o'clock in the morning, and didn't come back till, oh, it must have been just gone 9 o'clock in the evening. So I had a long day to myself, which was fine. That was good. But we'll just go back a bit to the beginning. We arrived at the caravan park. I don't really want to mention where it is, because obviously what I'm going to say is, you know, well, I went in. Kevin was at the other side of the barrier at the start of the, you know, at the entrance, because they like have a key safe for people to get in. Like, so I went in, did a little bit of filming, which I will pop in here so you can see first views. Well, as you've seen from the clip, it was, just basic, looked fine, first impressions. But then when I started looking a little bit closely, because the mat in front of the doorway was covered in grass and dog hairs. So I thought, well, this is not a very good start. So I went in, had a look round. The carpet in the living room got dog hairs on. The mat at the door had got grass and dog hairs on. This was the big doors at the side of the van. On the sofa was dog hairs all over the place. Now, I'm allergic to animal fur, which I say that, and I've got 3 cats, but I am used to them. Or I'm not used to other animals, but it wasn't too bad. Just when I say allergic to it, I'm just get a bit bunged up. And that's all really. Eyes run sometimes, but yeah, should have been cleaned. The cooker were mucky. Curtains were mucky. There's mould everywhere on the floor outside the shower, around the windows. You have to take your own sheets and duvet covers and pillowcases. They supply everything else. Went to make the bed. There's a big bloodstain on the duvet. Somebody's obviously used it to sleep on and then leaked. The cutlery drawer was absolutely filthy. The cups, the glasses were mucky. The cleaner on the wall in the living room was full of dust, but the vacuum cleaner wasn't put together properly. So Adele says, well, I'm not using that because it doesn't look right. So there was another vacuum in the wardrobe which hadn't been emptied. So we had to set about cleaning the caravan before we could do anything. All the work surfaces were mucky. The kettle, on the outside of the kettle, somebody had obviously used it and not emptied it whenever, we don't know. It was mucky with tea stains and things like that. There were just several things, and yet there's plenty of cleaning stuff there. So yeah, we set to cleaning it and ran the vacuum cleaner around, cleaned the settee, everything, cleaned the floors, the bedroom, you name it, and the vacuum was full of dust, so it was that dirty. The carpets were all stained, there were marks all over the wall. Like I said, the work surfaces were mucky, we had to clean all them. I didn't touch the cooker because I knew I wouldn't be using it, because we ended up deciding to eat out a couple of evenings, and we had salads, pasta salads, things like that, so everything was in containers. The fridge on first inspection looked clean, but where the shelf runners are full of food, the icebox was, there's too much ice in it, the door wouldn't shut. I think that was about it. The toilet was clean itself, but the toilet pedestal part was a bit dirty. So that was like, it's a bit of a, it was very disappointing to find it in that state. So Adele did get in touch with them, well, when we were on our way back home, because there was a message from the owner saying, how's your weekend gone? How's it been? Everything all right for you? So of course she had to tell them, and so he said, oh, well, I'll check with the cleaner, because we thought, oh, they might not have had a cleaner. Oh, the cleaner hadn't cleaned the caravan, but obviously they hadn't cleaned the caravan. And I have heard of other people today, customers of mine, who asked me how the weekend had gone, had said the same thing, that supposedly have cleaned, but they hadn't cleaned. So the last Adele heard was he would talk to the cleaner. So I'm not expecting to get, or for her to get a reply or anything to happen, but obviously next year, if she does this show again, she'll definitely not be stopping there. It'll be somewhere else, and she'll pay that little bit more money to get somewhere decent. So that, well, it was a bit of a, not the best of weekends really, but we made the best of it. Like I say, we cleaned it up. They went off to a show. We're out on the Sunday. We went out into Skegness. I can certainly see why they call it Skeggy Vegas. But I wanted to see the sea, so we walked along the beach for a bit, went on the pier, and we went to the, well, I say animal sanctuary, I suppose it is an animal sanctuary. We saw the seals, we saw a couple of penguins that they got, because that's why they wanted to go see the penguins, because she's a big fan of penguins. Everything's penguin related. She's been like that since she's been about 18 months old. And I didn't realise that these penguins came from South Africa, because I said, penguins don't come from South Africa. She said they do, and they were in the hothouse. They'd had to move the penguins out of their enclosure while it's being renovated. So all we could see in the hothouse, because you couldn't actually walk around this area, but you could see a couple of penguins. They're only small, black and white, but different to sort of like king penguins and everything like that. But they didn't come out of hiding. They were just hiding, chilling out under the bush. So it will be nice maybe to go back at some point when their enclosure is done, just to see them. So we enjoyed that. We had our lunch there. We watched the seals being fed, which that was quite nice. So I have got some footage of sort of the animals that we saw. They've got the baby seals. They've got an area especially for baby seals that will, once they can feed themselves and they're old enough, they get released back into the sea, which is nice. But the adult seals, these they've got to keep to look after. There's reasons for them being in captivity. They're not able to look after themselves. And they've got an albino seal, and the seals swim around on the back, and I'm thinking, is there something wrong with these seals while they're on the back swimming? And no, that's what they do. But the albino seal swims around with its eyes shut, because it's got red eyes and it's sensitive to light, so it doesn't open its eyes up really until the light's gone down. And in the baby seal area, the pups, they've got an albino baby seal in there. So yeah, we've seen them being fed. We've seen like the snakes, the lizards, everything like that, and we had our lunch there. Then we went for a walk on the beach, back through the town, up to the other sort of aquarium park, because it was more fish, it was pirate themed, and there was dinosaurs outside. And of course, at that point when we were outside, it threw it down with rain. So that part of it was fine. It was, because I've never been like into an aquarium or anything like that. We did see some little sharks. I mean, yeah, rays, stingrays I think they're called. Is this all stingrays or just ray fish? I don't know. We saw them, there was eels, there was all kinds of things. So it was really nice to see. So I thoroughly enjoyed that part of it. And that's when we went back to the caravan and we went out for a meal on Sunday evening. I did find 2 wool shops. Kevin's terrible. He's a bad enabler, he really is. He'll say to me, oh look, there's a fabric shop there, there's a wool shop there, are you going in? And I'm like, no, I don't need anything. Well, I'm going over here. He says, you might as well, you should go in, you should go in. I end up going in there and buying stuff. So I found a couple of fabric shops. No, one fabric shop I found. Got quite a lot of stuff in there, but some of it's the same as what I've already got in my shop and it's not what I wanted. But I did find this lovely fabric. My colours is Michael Miller, by Michael Miller. And it's called Opulent Floral. And it's gorgeous. I mean, it's all my colours in blue, green, purple. So that would be lovely for a top. I only bought a metre, as I thought I'd rather have something that's a little bit more floaty for a top like this. It looks better, but this is absolutely gorgeous. Excuse me. And everything's edged in gold, so I might turn this into baskets, fabric baskets and book sleeves. I think it'll look really nice, so I'll have to have one each for myself. So I bought that. And then I got some wool. I went in looking for green chunky. They've got lovely green in double knit, which I didn't want. I wanted chunky. So I ended up getting some chenille in a nice sort of, I'd say burnt orange, but that'll look perfect for pumpkins. So I can do a stem in that, a crochet stem, which I fancy doing. So that's nice. This one is a chunky. This is a Hayfield Spirit chunky, and this is, it doesn't say what shade it is, but this is very autumnal. So that would make a nice pumpkin, unless I decide to do something else with it. Then I've got Shetland Heather Aran. This has got some wool, it's got 25% wool in. So that is going to be used for making some frogs, I think, at some point. And then I got a ball of James C. Brett Scandi Croftland Aran. This has got 20% wool in. And yeah, again, this will probably do for frogs and maybe for some pumpkins as well. And then I found some green chunky. This is Hayfield Bonus Chunky. So that's a nice green. So I'm hoping that will go with, that green, I think, for tendrils. I might even learn to do crocheted pumpkin leaves, we'll see. Don't think I'm going to do that this year, but maybe next year. And then I managed to find that green. This is an olive green, which I think that goes really well with that stem. So that'll definitely get used for tendrils and maybe, say, even a leaf. It just depends how many of these pumpkins I get finished off, but that's good. So that was my 7 balls of yarn that I bought, considering I only went in for 1 ball. It cost me £35. Oh dear, I don't know. Oh yes, I did get another thing, just excuse me a second. I found another little shop and I managed to get this springtime crochet, and I thought that'll do for spring next year. Just Got a sip of my drink. So we've got chicks and bunnies, and then we've got some little hanging decorations, and then we've got a nice wreath. And it's got some little flowers on and some daffodils. Let's have a look and see what's in here. Right, we've got a gnome or a tomty, which looks nice. I really fancy I'm going to go at crocheting one of them. We've got a little basket, so that's very cute. I like that. I think, what are they using? Oh, they're using Yummy. I think that's a chenille, isn't it? The Yummy. And Big Value. Oh, the Big Value's for the nose. But yes, I quite fancy using the chenille. And then we've got some little, I think that's like a bunny, a chick, and a sheep, I think that is. So that's good. Oh, and then we've got some little egg cozies. I mean, aren't they cute? I think that would just be nice to have out just for Easter with a fake egg underneath. Oh dear. Oh, and we've got some little Easter decorations as well. That's lovely. So there's quite a bit in this book, and there's the wreath as well. I quite fancy doing that. And then we've got some Easter bunting, and then you've got your carrots. So that looks nice. I've showed you the chick and I've showed you the bunny. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cute. A sheep teapot cozy. How sweet is that? Oh, it's got a bubble stitch on it. It's done in Yummy and Big Value for the face. Oh, I quite fancy doing that for next year. We'll have to have a go and see how I get on with the Yummy pattern. Not a Yummy, a bubble pattern. We've got a little chick there. Character decorations. And we've got a bunny. And I'll have to show it from that side. And we've got a sheep. So I think there's quite a few things in there to keep me going. And this is a King Cole book. And it's Springtime Crochet Book 1. So I don't know how long this one's been out, but if it's only book 1, might have been a while. So because I'm looking forward to doing that. Right, well, I'm going to leave you now with videos and pictures of Skegness and the aquarium and things like that. And I'm also going to leave in the bit about feeding the seals, where Adele filmed this for me. I'll have to have a drink a second. It is about 5 minutes long, but there's not going to be any music or anything over that, but you can hear her talking about the seals, which was very interesting. So I'm going to leave that in so you can listen to it. If you don't want to, just skip past it. And I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you all at the end.
Also 23, going to come and give me a touch. Watch out, Pixie's behind you. Next up we use to help identify them. And it's you over there, Pixie. So we'll start with Ollie just here. He's our only adult male in the pool. And a handshake. Thank you very much. Now he's a little bit bigger than the other females. He's also slightly darker and has a wider head. Now Pixie is our most enthusiastic seal in the pool. Do you want to come out and give everybody a wave? You did a beautiful one yesterday. You gonna come out? No, we're just going to stand. But when she's not waving at us, we can tell it's her, as she's slightly smaller than the other females. She has a slightly thinner head, and she has a stumpier tail. Now Scarlett here is quite easy to spot. Again, she's one of our smaller females, but she's also gone through her annual pop, and she's got a brand new coat, and at the moment her face is quite dark as everybody else's. Thank you very much. And Albie is very easy to spot as well. Just down here, you'll notice he's a different colour to everybody else. So his fur is more of a brown colour with a hint of pink, and that's because he is actually an albino seal. So they're very rare, there's about 1 in 100,000. And then our last two girls, we have to look a bit closer because they look very, very similar. So Victoria and Fergie here. So we have to look at little differences in their coats. First we have the scarf beauty. Fergie has a little scar on her forehead, she also has her own spots going, and one on the back of her head. Thank you very much. Now the average lifespan for a seal is around 35 years old for females and only 25 for males. We've had 2 females live with us here at Natureland previously. Means you get in my way. Which I'm not going to give me another handshake. Which means that they do live with us here at Natureland. They were all originally rescues of the different rental and they were unable to be released back to the wild. So for example, Scarlett just in front of me here. She was a symptom we hadn't seen before. We did rescue a few other pups with the same illness. It's now commonly known as mouth rot. Unfortunately, hers is quite susceptible now to different illnesses like pneumonia. So when we had our ethical reviews, our vets said it would be best to keep her here so we can monitor her and we can make sure she's healthy and she's happy. Now another way we can make sure our set is filtered through 6 feet of sound and then we can actually do pipes at the end of the pool. And it just makes sure that the water when it comes through is nice and clear and clean and a little bit more natural for the seal. So can I have a look at these? Thank you. Can I have a look at this one? Wonderful, thank you. Now they use their claws for a couple of different reasons. In the summer months when they're molting, which is where all of their fur. Wonderful, thank you. Fergie, can I have an open? Good girl. A little one. Okay, can you now, can you give me an open? Open. Wonderful, thank you. So even when they're doing a bit more, or knee scratching, well, thank you very much. So we can have a good feel of her tummy. We can also go all the way down her back and check her flippers as well. Thank you very much, Scarlett.
There you go.
Hello. Hi.
You can have that bag, Mum.
Oh. You're getting a bit greedy, you, aren't you? Oh, hey! No, we're not feeding you.
You might not have a choice here.
I don't trust this one. Well, little ones don't get anything, do they?
Well, this one's having a look.
No.
Oh, here it comes. Aww.
No. Nobody gets a look in, do they, with him? Oh, God, well, there you go. No. You're breathing.
Oh, it's having a wee. Mum versus goat.
I know, my goat's winning.
You drop it.
No, I've got two of them after me. No. There you go, buddy. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing the videos and all that of our time in Skegness. The weather wasn't very good actually. On the Sunday when we went to all the places, it was quite windy, very dull. And when we came out of the last place where we saw all the fish and everything, it started raining. And that was about 4:30, I think it was, when we left there. And it rained and rained, and the wind was quite strong till around about 10 to 7 as we were leaving to go out for a meal, which the restaurant we went to, yes, I put a bit of video in of the restaurant and what we had to eat. It was a lovely place, really lovely. If you like Italian food, I would highly recommend it if you go to Skegness. Yeah, and it didn't rain. It was well after 8, it might be about 8:30 when we got back to the caravan, and it started raining, and it came down really, really heavy, and it was windy again, and it was like that on and off probably part of the evening. And well, I think it probably stopped by the time we'd gone to bed. But yeah, so the caravan wasn't rocking but it was windy. So yeah, luckily on the Monday it had stopped raining by the time we left, which was good because we had to pack up the car. So yeah, so we had a good journey home. We stopped off at Horncastle, I think it was, and there was another little place we stopped off at, and we just had some lunch and then set off and got back home, and it was getting on for, I don't know, 4:30 by the time we got home. So there was no crafting done yesterday. Got all the washing done, everything like that, everything put away. So now it's just getting back to normal. I've missed 2 days of work, and I feel like I've been away for a week. I have got so many jobs to do this week. I knew I'd got some wool arriving, which that came in. Well, I had that sent to home because I knew somebody was going to be in. So that arrived before we left. And on the Thursday before we went, I had some pre-orders of fabric come, and I wasn't expecting them. So I've got a pile of fabric sat in the shop on the table. It all needs photographing, and I've got to tag everything and get it on the website. So I think there's going to be a separate video on the fabrics that have come in. There's 2 or 3 collections that have come in, so there might be 2 or 3 videos I'll say coming out on the fabric, but nothing like that is going to go online until next week, because obviously I just haven't had time to do it today. The only thing that is going to be attached to this blog will be the 2 fat quarter bundles that I spoke about and that I've shown you what I'm making. By the time this video goes live, which will be tonight, I'm just not sure if it'll go up for 7 o'clock, but it will definitely be up tonight. The fat quarter bundles will be live. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you've all had a lovely crafty week, and I hope the weather's been kind to you. You've not had too much rain and it's not been too windy for you. So I will see you all again next week with an update on my kits, and hopefully some finished pumpkins which I can actually put out this year. So take care everyone, have a lovely crafty week, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.